Hi, Julian. We're really going to, I hope I said your name right. We're going to go over some fraction stuff really quickly here. First of all, anytime you multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, you're going to get 1. The reciprocal is the opposite of a number. For example, the reciprocal, so here's the word is reciprocal. The reciprocal of 7 is 1 over 7. The reciprocal of 3 is 1 over 3. This reciprocal of 1/24 is 24. So the reciprocal is just the flipped opposite. Anytime you multiply a number by its reciprocal, you're going to get 1. So 7 multiplied by 1 over 7 is equal to 7 over 7, which is equal to 1. So how did you get that? Well, first of all, just let me change the color here. So when I multiply a whole number by a fraction, I multiply the whole number by the number on the top of the fraction. So 7 times 1 is equal to 7. And the number on the bottom stays the same. So for example, if I had 3 times 1 over 3, 1 times 3 is 3, and the bottom stays the same. If I had 1/5 times 5, I would get 1 times 5 is 5, and the number on the bottom stays the same. So any fraction that has the same number on the top and the bottom is equal to 1. So multiplying a number by its reciprocal always gives you 1. The next thing that you need to know is when you add or subtract fractions, the number on the bottom has to stay the same. So let's say you multiplied 7 times 1 over 7 because you were trying to get 1, that's fine. But then the number on the next number that you multiplied was 3, say in your matrix, like say you had 7, 3, and then a 2 in your matrix, then you'd have 3 times 1 over 7. Again, this is a whole number times a fraction. So you do the numbers on the top, 3 times 1 is 3, and the number on the bottom stays the same. And then if we looked at the next number in the fraction is 2 times 1 over 7, 2 times 1 is the top, and the number on the bottom stays the same. So if you multiplied this whole matrix by 1/7, you would then get 1, 3 over 7, and 2 over 7. Okay. So then the issue is what do you do, like, pardon me, say you, let's say that you want to have, now you have two fractions and you're multiplying them by another fraction. Say you had that 3 over 7 and you're multiplying it by the reciprocal of another number because you have to get 0 somewhere. So let's say you had 3 over 7 times 1 over 5 for whatever reason. Maybe this was the number in the matrix and this was the reciprocal of something else that you were multiplying by. So what do? When it's multiplication of fractions is easy. 3 times 1 is 3, so you multiply the numbers on the top, and then you multiply the numbers on the bottom. 7 times 5 is 35. It's a little bit more complicated when you're adding or subtracting. So let's say you had 3 over 7 plus 2 over 5. Maybe this was R1 and this was R2. Sorry, just let me make that be quiet. Sorry, my phone is going off. Okay, so let's say you had 3 over 7 plus 2 over 5. Well, with fractions, you can only add or subtract fractions where the number on the bottom is the same. So it's actually impossible to add 3 over 7 and 2 over 5. So you have to say to yourself, what can I multiply the numbers on the bottom to get the same number? The quickest and easiest way are just to multiply them together. So 7 over 5 is 35. So instead I'm going to make two fractions, which are 35 plus 35. Okay, well, how do I do that? Well, the original fraction on this side was 3 over 7. What do I multiply 7 by to get 35? I multiply it by 5. Okay, and what the original fraction on the other side was 2 over 5. And what do I multiply 5 by to get 7? Or 35? I multiply it by 7. Okay. 5 over 5 is 1, 7 over 7 is 1. So to turn 3/7 into a number over 35, I do 3 times 5 is 15, and the bottom is 35. On this side I'm going to go 2 times 7 is 14, and now instead of having 3 over 7 plus 2 over 5, I'm going to have 15 over 35 plus 14 over 35, which is equal to 29 over 35. So this stuff is pretty easy, basic, common denominator. So if you don't remember how to do that, I would say go to Khan Academy. You can find that on YouTube, and Khan Academy will give you some basic multiplying or adding and subtracting fractions. Okay?